getting ready to drop into LP on my 7 single speed, fully rigid single speed. And I'll admit, I know this trail like the back of my hand. I've been riding it a long time. So riding it on a fully rigid single speed for me is not as hardcore as riding a trail that I don't know on a fully rigid single speed, or that I haven't rode much. I know my lines. I pick every line that I know that I like. I've tried them all. I've crashed a bunch of times. I crashed and hurt my shoulder that time about a little over a month ago. So I'm recovering from that, but it feels pretty good. The thing about a rigid bike is you take a lot of shock in your shoulders, because that is your suspension, your shoulders and your torso. I like to go slow through that water because I don't want to splash it up on the camera. This bottom bracket sits a little bit higher than my Escar Hayduke, so it's a little bit easier to go over stuff. So it feels pretty good. This is actually my first time, or my second time. I can't remember now, you guys. But since I injured my shoulder, this is either my first or my second time to take this bike down El Prieto, and I'm doing that real slow because that's where I tipped over and boogered up my shoulder, but I was able to do it clipped in. So that's my goal, is to get a clean ride and stay clipped in the whole time. And so with the rigid bike especially, that means going slower on some of the tech. But like I said, I know this trail really well. I know where I could just throttle it, and I know where to kind of calm down. That's the worst climb of the whole trail. for coming down anyway. I have a lot of tire pressure. I was worried about being too low with these tires, and honestly, I'm going to switch them out to bigger tires after this ride so I can go a little bit lower pressure and have a little bit more cush. The front tire feels great, and it's hooking up pretty well for as it's got just small knobs, but because it's so wide, it's a 29 by 2.8. So that's pretty wide. I really think 2.6 and 2.8 is where it's at for having fun on a mountain bike. If once you get in to the smaller 2.35s and 2.4s, you're going to feel faster on the climb, but you're really not taking full advantage of having a big tire to give you that extra traction and extra ability to handle this stuff. That was a bad line, but I cleaned it. So I hope you guys are enjoying your 4th of July. And, you know, being careful. Hear that back tire skid. Like I said, it's not that big, and it's got a lot of pressure. I'll measure it after my ride, but I think it's over 20 pounds, maybe 25. I just didn't want to deal with a flat today. Now, I always run tubeless, you guys know that. But even tubeless get flats. Instead of pinching the tube, you pinch your tire, and it pretty much ruins a tire for going tubeless until you vulcanize it. And I should make a video on me doing that. I learned that in the Philippines. watching them fix a flat on our motorcycle tire. Well, I love these Oakley lenses. They're I forget the name of them. The Mountain Trail, and I forget what the new name they call the ones. But they're great on low light and this stuff and really seeing details, but when you come around the corner you get hit with a blast of sun, man, you notice it. All right, you guys, that was it. That was LP clipped in the whole time, and just to prove, let me get my camera off. Oh my gosh, this is tight. Okay, I'll do it like that. So you see I got my SPDs. I was clipped in.